Hello internets! If you're watching this video, you're either my tutor and you're assessing my uni assignment, or you've just stumbled upon it on YouTube. If so, keep watching, you might learn something fun. Now come on an adventure with me as we learn about mobile phones, one of the most important forms of communique that we have today. Now nearly everyone in the free world today has access to a mobile phone. Especially the most common, of course, is the smartphones. You know, whether it be an iPhone, that's an iPhone, or an Android-based phone, that's an Android-based phone, or a Windows phone. Who owns a Windows phone? Now, these phones, they allow us to check our emails, to play games, to take photos, to check Facebook, and many other things that allow us to be simultaneously antisocial and social at the same time. It's a paradox. However, once upon a time, phones were actually used to make phone calls. Who would have thought? But I digress. Now let's talk about the history of mobile phones for 1 second. You know, the first commercial sales for the mobile phones actually was in Japan, in Tokyo, in 1979. Eventually, in the 1980s, the Nordic countries, they took it on, and then the years following, other countries such as the UK, the US, they started to adapt this. Many years later, so did Australia. But I digress. The mobile phones back then weren't like the ones we have today. You know, they didn't allow you to do any of the fun things that we can do now. They were literally calling people, and they were by no means as portable as what they are today. They weighed about 2 pounds, and they were about this. And that's like the late 80s, not the 70s ones. Again, I digress. Now, 93 was probably a breakthrough moment for mobile phones when short messaging service, or SMS and text message, became a big thing. That allowed people to get to be antisocial and take a lot longer to say a lot less. Now, as time went on and the technology got better, so did the phones. Mainly towards the new millennia. The late 90s was the real pinnacle point, even the early 2000s. The phone internal memory got bigger, MP3 capabilities, FM radio was a huge thing. Then there was in about 2003 when colour screens became a thing. Example of a colour screen phone. I thought it was a huge deal in 2002, 2003. And obviously I still do because I keep it. And then the more capabilities such as taking photos. Photos on phones were a huge deal. To have 2 megapixels at your hand, my god, that was a feat. Such as this. But it wasn't until about 2007 did the phone start becoming a bigger thing. I mean, there were smartphones previously, but the one that really took off obviously was the iPhone. That was the first generation of iPhone. And again, its big thing was it was all touchscreen, you could play music off it, you could take photos, it was an iPod, it was an iPhone, who knew? And then that's where it's really gotten interesting. The technology today is just beyond its capabilities. Like with they're becoming more like miniature computers rather than phones. I mean, they were always much like a computer, but now, just the hardware inside has made it what it is today. Now, can you imagine, and this is a question I'll leave you all with, can you imagine going back to using one of if you actually have one of these lying around, I dare you to try using it for a week. You might go mad.